Now I get a lot of offers to review stuff, and a lot of them I turn down because, you know, they're from companies I've not heard of and I'm not really that bothered about making a video. But this one caught my eye. It's from a company called Shapeheart. Shapeheart. As I do with all of my reviews, cards on the table right from the beginning. They sent me this for free. I didn't pay for it, but I've got no affiliation to the company, so if I don't think it's any good, I will let you know. But as I've already alluded to, I think it might be quite useful. The reason is, there's a lot of phone cases on the market. A lot of them are quite expensive, and they require you to always have that case on your phone so you can clip it on and off of your bike. This one is called a Pochette Magnétique Détachable, which translated into English is a detachable magnetic pocket. And it might be handy for people because essentially you can just sling your phone in any case, and then by magnet it connects to your bike. But let's have a look at this, the Pochette Magnétique and see how we get on. So they've sent me their telephone XL, 30 euros, okay, so that's 30 euros. And then they've also sent me their proboost, which is this arm essentially. Is my finger going the right way? There's like a proboost arm. This is another 50 euros. So they're the two items that we're going to be looking at today. So let's start with the case itself, and I'll show you what's in the box and how your phone goes into it. Okay, so let's have a look at the stuff. So in the first box, the smartphone Pochette Magnétique Détachable. Mine's in XL because I've got this phone to do it with, an iPhone XR, XL. You can also get it in medium and what's that say, 2XL, so you can get bigger cases. In the case then, in the box, sorry, you get the case that the phone slips into, and then a little bag, and in the bag there's a mount there, a little magnetic mount, a strap to go around your handlebar, and then they're the two straps that actually mount it, which we'll do in a bit. And then if you move across to the proboost one, proboost, again in XL, but you can get it in medium and 2XL. This comes with a case, I didn't realise, so there's a case in the box as well, an Allen key to do it all up. But the only difference is, instead of the little mount there, you've got this big mount, so it can extend up on your handlebar, and then some nice little rubber bits to go around the handlebar to stop them getting scratched. Okay, so the case then, let's go through the case. The reason I like this, like I said, is because it's just a very simple case that your phone can go in, you can stick it on your bike, and it's going to be very quick to get it on and off, get your phone in and out of this case, and crack on with your day. The reason I like this is because with my phone, I'm not going to mention a brand because that would be unfair on Shapeheart, it's in a different case. So my phone's already in a case, it's an iPhone XR, but with it in this case, I can just fit it into here, crack on, and then when I get to where I need to be, just take it out and walk around with that in my pocket. The only reason I like that is because there's some cases on the market that are quite big and bulky for your phone when it's on a motorcycle, and they're cases that I wouldn't necessarily want to have in my pocket day to day, whereas this is what's, well actually I'm lying, that isn't what's in my pocket day to day, my little phone is. The reason I've got two is because I ran this one over. But anyway, stop waffling, let's put it in the case. There's my phone, there's the case, stick that in here, slides in, and then I don't even know if I'm showing this on the camera, that goes over the top, et voila, my phone is now in this case. Now I had to play with this kit before I decided to film myself. These magnets are mega strong. So this is the little magnet that come in the first case, and as you can see, there's the receiver magnet on the back. And watch this. And then if that was on the handlebar, that is properly solid, and to get it off requires quite a lot of force. So I mean, they're pretty sturdy magnets. Obviously I'm going to go and ride and try this out, but just so you can see how strong they are. Pretty good, eh? Pretty good. If we move across to the other mount, exactly the same, but it's just a bit bigger, isn't it? So on there, that isn't coming off, is it? I don't know, I don't know what face I just pulled there, but let's rewind and have a look at my lovely face. Isn't my wife lucky? Right, yeah, so there we go. That's how it all fits in. So let's talk about the case itself then. So it feels like a neoprene sort of case. I've just read the website. It says they are weather resistant, so not fully waterproof. I mean, obviously there's a gap there, but they are weather resistant. And that magnet, it says it can hold up to 50 times your phone, which is pretty handy because I'm about to go and bounce this around off-road and see if it stays on, which with 50 times it should do. So I suppose we need to know, does it still function when it's in the case? So let's try and unlock my phone. That brings it on nice and easily. The scrolling works. Face ID is not working through that case, but this has got a bit dirty, this case, because I've been playing with it. But actually the phone works fine, so I can scroll around nice and easily. All the buttons seem to work. I can get to my functionality keys, although there's no specific bit for them. Obviously I can click around if you know where your functionality keys are and get to them. So it's quite handy. Stop, wait a minute. I'd forgotten that they'd sent me their fully waterproof case. So this is the normal case I was just talking about. It's weatherproof, as the website says. And just as a point of note, because I'm going to show you something else in a minute, there's no camera bit on the back. So you can't take photos using the rear camera with it in this case. However, so this is the fully waterproof case. So the difference is it's got a mechanism on the bottom to lock. So the phone goes in. Again, my phone's still in the other case. The phone goes in, this rolls down, Velcro's on, that goes on there. Your phone is now fully waterproof and you can still use the camera. Apologies Shapeheart, I forgot you sent me. Now I'm going to show you how to fit the mounts.
So let's start with a smartphone mount for your motorcycle. The first thing you'll need to do is find a spot to mount it and then decide on which strap to use. For the silicone strap, all you need to do is locate it onto the 2 prongs of the magnetic mount, wrap it around the handlebar and attach it on the other side. For the 2 rubber bands, attach it to 1 prong and then go around your handlebar and find the prong on the same side. I'm using the ones in the right of shot here. Do the same with the opposite rubber band et voila! All is bon. From here, with your phone in the Shapeheart case, mounting the phone is as simple as clicking it onto the magnet and then removing it as shown. The proboost smartphone mount comes with 2 parts to clamp around your bar and 2 screws to tighten them together. The arm and head are both adjusted using the screws as shown and, when secure, the mount feels very solid. You can choose to have the arm in any position you like, such as sideways or vertically as shown, and once in position, again, mounting your phone is as simple as clicking it onto and taking it off of the magnet. Time to get out riding then, first using the normal smartphone mount with the standard case. As you can see, it seemed pretty sturdy, even when I was getting a bit leery on some humpback bridges. After a few miles, it was time to switch over to the proboost. The phone was still in the standard case, and for this test ride I had it in the vertical position, and, again, I went on the hunt for the humpbacks.
So I've just pulled over at the side of the road before I go off-road. Let me tell you my first impressions then. So this mount, the tiny one. First impressions of that, it sits on there nicely, but it isn't the most stable. Now what I would say is I intentionally rode like a bit of a hooligan and through a few bumps, and it didn't fall off. I was sort of trying to see if it would fall off, which I know is ridiculous because I'd lose an iPhone, but hey, I'm committed to the cause. But yeah, it didn't fall off. It just wobbled around a little bit. I'm going to take it off-road now and see how it copes, but that was my road impressions anyway. Moving on to the Pro mount, much better. I tried to put it sideways to begin with, but actually the phone would have just fallen down. So I put it upright and it stayed upright with the phone on it, nicely and securely. Again, I rode like a bit of a hooligan and popped a little wheelie over a bridge. And in fact, it didn't move at all. Now there is a way that you can tighten it up. In there, there's a screw. Now it's a bit of a faff because I've got to take this one out to take the arm off, to then tighten up that one, which I'm assuming stops that being able to rotate so easily. So I'm gonna have a play with that, set it up, and then we'll go in the dirt and see if they fall off. Well, I'll see if my phone falls off. I did put an Allen key in here somewhere. Like bloody Mary Poppins this is. Here we go, right.
After disassembling the proboost mount, I very easily tightened up the inner screw to lock the arm into the vertical position. With it locked, you could almost say it was pretty solid.
Pretty solid that, and I've not got any rubber mounts.
As I was about to go off-road and it had been raining recently, I swapped out the standard case for the waterproof one, in case I hit any puddles along the way. As I said before, you just slide your phone in, Velcro up the bottom, and you're hot to trot. Time to go off-road then, first using the proboost, and I decided to intentionally pick some terrible lines to try and hit a few bumps.
Slippy today, slippy today. That's one lane done.
I'll be honest to the fact that I didn't have much hope for this mount, but it actually held its own, even when I was picking terrible and bumpy lines again, which were not always intentional.
How have I ended up over here? Pick your lines on me. Do it. Get over here. There we go.
After a few kilometres with a standard mount, I swapped back to the proboost one last time before aiming for home to summarise what I thought of these Shapeheart cases and mounts.
Okay, so we've been for a spin now. Well, I've been for a spin and had a look at the kit. So let's summarise what I think about all this Shapeheart stuff. Now, both of them did the job they were supposed to do. Like I said right at the beginning, the reason I like these is because of the simplicity. You can just throw your phones into them and then take your phone out and stick it in your pocket in your normal day-to-day case, if that's how you roll. That's how I roll. The magnets on the back were really strong. I think sometimes in the video I was a little bit harsh at how much things were moving around, because actually I did a lot of pretty bumpy off-road, more than was shown on the camera, and nothing fell off. It was all pretty secure, and I was quite happy with these cases. Now, what I can't comment on, obviously, is how good they are long term. They aren't made out of the highest quality material. They're not bad by any means, but you know, you're not paying hundreds of pounds like you do with the other phone brands. You're paying a lot less. So obviously the quality is a little bit less than that. But I mean, they are great. I could still swipe on my phone. I could still get to my functionality keys, which is quite important to me. And the waterproof one, I did actually squirt a hose at it and the phone stayed dry because it didn't rain. So it all does what it should do. Right, let's talk about the mounts then. Well, there was two. So we had the little mount that was held on by the rubber straps and the Pro mount. Now, this little mount, if you're an off-road rider, I probably can't recommend it. As you saw, it did bounce around a lot. Nothing fell off, but it did bounce around a lot on the bike. And if you're trying to navigate off your phone and it's moving around a lot, A, that's going to be annoying. And I also don't know, I'm not saying this is going to happen, but I don't know how well the straps will last over time if you're bouncing your bike around a lot in the dirt. If you're riding on the road, however, I had no dramas. Yeah, it looked a bit loose when I was wiggling it around, but actually it was fine, and I hit some big potholes on purpose, and it didn't fall off. So, you know, the mounts are good. That magnet is mega strong. My only concern is over the actual mount itself, over the little bit of rubber that goes around it. Moving on to the Pro mount though, this was properly secure. So it went onto the handlebars really tight. You know, I didn't even use the rubber grips. It tightened up nicely. And when I'd tightened up this bit in here to stop it moving around, I mean, it was super solid. It didn't move at all. When I put the phone on it, it was really solid, and I bounced around a lot in the dirt, and I was hitting a few jumps and stuff that again weren't on camera, and the phone did not move. So I was really impressed with this. And when you look at it, it's made out of, you know, it looks pretty high quality if I'm honest. So no complaints with this mount whatsoever. If I was in the market for a cheaper phone case, I would be looking at this because it did its job. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.